What's up guys, Lewis here from Just a Game Airsoft, and today we're going to be looking at our really iconic and legendary AEG. As you guessed from the title, it's the Tokyo Marui UZI. Just give you a quick history of the gun. I'm not going to get too much into detail, because if you really want a history of the real steel weapon, you can look it up. But the real steel counterpart was invented in 1940s by Major UZI in Israel. And this is an iconic SMG in the real world, made famous by various action movies, Hollywood movies, such as The Terminator,
the UZI 9mm,
Scarface,
hello to my little friend,
various other 1980s Miami drug lord movies, and overall it's just iconic. So I'm just going to go over the box. As you can see, there's a nice picture of the replica on the front. UZI SMG 9x19. US Secret Service and mercenaries weapon. So yeah, it was used by the Secret Service for a time. There's a famous picture of a agent deploying the stock while trying to protect President Ronald Reagan, I believe. Version 5 mech box, EG 1000 motor. So this is the only replica that has the version 5 motor and EG 1000 motor in reverse, but I'll get into that at a later stage. This always makes me laugh about the box. Be a man among men. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but it always makes me laugh when I look at the box. Various Japanese information, which I won't even attempt to read out to you. 600 mAh 8.4 volt battery. That's what the replica comes with. The Tokyo Marui logo up the top there. It's the same information on the bottom really, and if you flip around to this side of the box, you can see the AEG logo, which all the Tokyo Marui replicas come with. So it's Tokyo Marui, so you know it's going to come with a nice flashy box. I know this is kind of an old style Tokyo Marui box because this replica is very old, but it still comes in a nice flashy packaging. Taking off the lid of the box, see the gun replica comes with a nice manual. It's got all the information you need, and very handy, it does have English translations underneath the Japanese, so your basic don't shoot at animals, don't point it at yourself, and all that kind of safety information. Then it gets more in detail about how the functions of the gun, how to work certain features that you can see there folding up the stock. And if you flip right to the very back, then it has an exploded diagram, which is very handy if you're looking for parts. And this is inside the box itself, so everything in this box came with it when I got it. You got the 8.4 volt battery, the tracer unit adapter, the old style speed loader, and of course the replica itself. Taking out the replica, it is quite heavy. You know, it's quite solidly built. Does have a couple of trademarks there, so SMG UZI. I'm not sure why it says UZI and not UZI. I think Tokyo Marui just don't have the rights to the name or something like that, but it's still a nice touch. And on this side, Tokyo Marui Japan Co. and the ASGK logo stamped into it. And it does have a serial number if the camera can pick it up. Yes, solid build. It is Tokyo Marui, so you get what you pay for. The main frame of the replica is ABS, but I know you can get a Zeke metal body kit, but they're even rarer than the guns itself, and when they come up for sale they're really expensive. But it does have quite a lot of metal parts, so from the barrel, outer barrel, so that's metal, the barrel nut is metal, the whole top cover is metal, the sights are metal, and the sights are flip up, so you reveal different apertures, but let's be honest, it isn't easy, so are you really going to be using the sights? The stock is metal, the front sling swivel attachment is metal, selector switch is metal, magazine release is metal, and that's all the metal parts on it. As you can see on the top cover, there is a rail mounted. This actually does not come within a standard. The person I bought it off, I I did buy this second hand, by the way. Did install that himself, and he did quite a good job. But I have used it in games, put a red dot on it. But I feel like it takes away from the iconic look. But still a good job done there. The only thing with this rail mount is you cannot cock back the charger handle all the way, but you can't do that when the battery is installed in here anyway. I'll just give you a quick rundown of the controls. If the camera can pick that up, it's got ARS there, so safe repetition, which is semi and auto, full auto obviously. And it does have a working dovetail safety, so it's quite a nice feature. You know, you have to squeeze that to fire. Trigger, well, the trigger is metal, I forgot to mention that. Squeeze that to fire up the trigger and to release the mag. Paddle there, easy hand I think they call that. And to deploy the stock, all you do is easy to do in game. Quite nice to rest your face up, especially if you've got a mask, because the stock is at an angle, so it's handy when you have a mask and you can see your sight picture. To fold back in the stock, press this button here, and that folds it back there. You squeeze these two parts in. Now, to actually fold in the stock, you need to put that part in first and lock it in like that, because if you do it the other way, if I pull the stock out, lock these two pieces in first, and like, it'll get caught on that little plastic tab there, and you won't be able to fold it, so just be mindful if you're using that in the game. This replica is 1:1 scale. It's got an iconic look. The internals of this, so as I mentioned before, it does use a version 5 gearbox, so the piston actually goes back instead of forward like most AEGs, so it does give it a little bit of recoil, even though I think it's not supposed to with it. It's a nice touch when you're shooting it, and the barrel actually comes back recesses into the gearbox, so it's a unique design. I know they stopped making this gun, it's discontinued because the gearbox does give a lot of trouble, and that's why it's so hard to get. But you know, it's a unique design, and if you want to see a more in-depth video of the internals on this replica, look up, I can't remember the name of the channel now, but there's a video of the gearbox actually working, so it's quite a nice handy video to look at if you're looking to see how this gun actually operates. The barrel is 244 millimeters long. No, not bad length for an SMG. As I mentioned, it has the reverse motor as well, so I believe that's proprietary to this replica. To access the hop-up then and put the battery in, the hop-up is just there, so it's nice and handy to get to. So as you can see, there's not much battery space there, so an 8.4 volt battery or a LiPo is the only thing you're going to use to run this, but I usually use 8.4, just a regular 8.4 battery, because I don't want to run it on LiPo just in case it shreds itself, the gearbox. And it does come with Tamiya connectors, so quite standard on all Tokyo Marui Tamiya connectors. Just put the top cover in, you just slide it in like that and press it down, so it's easy enough to access that. The last time I chrono this is about 250 FPS, 250, 260 I think. The overall length of this is 455 millimeters, and if you just apply the stock, it's 655 millimeters, so it's quite handy for CQB even with the stock out. You know, it's quite easy to nip around corners, and you know, easy to bring the weapon up and place it on your target. Even coming around corners, it needs one hand, you know. I believe this shoots about 700 or 800 rounds a minute, depending on what battery you put in, of course. The battery I have for this is quite old now, so I need to upgrade it. But you know, it is a good shooter. It does have the Tokyo Marui hop-up as I mentioned, so it's quite accurate, and it's good for CQB, where I have used this in woodland as well, and it does perform quite well, even though it's quite compact. It's quite nice and fun to use in woodland as well, nice and light and easy to run around with. I did get some accessories when I got this rifle, and if you want to know where to get this, I cannot tell you because I actually bought this off a used airsoft website, so I couldn't tell you where to get it. If I could, I would. But as I said, these are discontinued by Tokyo Marui themselves, and on most airsoft websites they're out of stock or it says discontinued. So that's why they're rare and hard to come by. So when this came up, I did have to purchase it because I knew I wouldn't see one for a while, and I was actually looking for this for about 3 or 4 years before I actually managed to buy one. Looking up all airsoft websites in Japan, the UK, America even, but luckily I actually found one here in Ireland for sale, so I snapped that up straight away. I think these go for, it used to go for sale between $200 and $250 dollars, or £230 I think. I actually picked this up for $200, so that was a pretty good steal. It did come with a few accessories, which I'm going to show you now. So I did get a couple of magazines with it. These are the original mags that come with it. So these are 40 round mags, 40 round mid-caps, and it does have some markings on the side. So as you can see, 10, 15, 20, 25. It's a nice feature. These are actually made of ABS. They're quite sturdy, quite solid. 40 rounds, nice and handy, and I did get a couple of them. So it's handy for reloading and that, but usually when I'm using this gun, I'm using it in CQB, so I do use the 220 round magazines. These are actually made out of metal. Again, quite good build quality. The only thing that's rattling there is the winding wheel. You have your regular, if I can get this open now, regular trapdoor up front, just as with any Hicap. I think there's a company called Star that used to manufacture magazines for this if you can't get the Tokyo Marui ones, because I know the Tokyo Marui ones are hard to find at this stage as well. I do prefer the look of the gun with the 220 round mags in it. They protrude more. It makes it look a bit more menacing. As I said, in CQB I do use these Hicaps. Other accessories I got with the gun is a suppressor, so I'll just show you how to put this on. Before I unscrew that, actually, I'll show you the actual adapter that came with it. So this is the adapter that actually fits onto the muzzle of this Replica, and if you can pick that on camera, it comes with these 2 slots here for 2 metal pins, which I have in the back here. Do not lose them, otherwise this thing will like spin around while you're shooting. Those panels fit, those pins fit into a slot. Here I'll show you now when I take off the barrel nut and stop the suppressor from rotating around. And this is the suppressor that came with it. I'm not sure what thread size this is, but it's a lot smaller than regular. It's definitely not 40mm CCW, so this is the only suppressor I found. Well, I actually got this with the gun, but none of my other suppressors fit on this gun. It's quite a nice suppressor. I'm not sure what brand it is. It might be Tokyo Marui itself. Taking off the barrel nut, then just unscrew it easy like this. Put that to one side. Slide out the outer barrel, and you can see that little notch cut out there is where those 2 little pins sit. So I'll try to put them in on camera now, but if I can't, I'll just draw on the suppressor adapter and show you how it looks with the suppressor on it. Anyways, with me for 1 second.
2 hours later.
Simple enough, easy, just screw on the barrel nut. Now this does take a little bit of, that's the first time, sometimes it's hard to screw on to start. So yeah, that little barrel locking that locks that in place. As you can see, it just ratchets in if I don't push it in, so that keeps that in place. And then just screw on the suppressor. Just tighten up the end of it. It's coming off. And there you go. Iconic UZI suppressed. does look quite menacing with the suppressor, even though it does add a little bit of length. It looks quite menacing, and I do like the look of it with the suppressor. Oh, another accessory I got before I finish this review is, if I can find it now, this real steel UZI police bag. So I actually picked this up in the States when I was over there on vacation, so it's quite nice. It does have a pouch there for all my magazines, and they do fit in quite nice, sturdy, like that pouch there. Nice UZI emblem stitched in, even though when I do bring this back to site, people ask me what's in the bag, even though it says it on the front. I suppose it's just an uncommon gun. UZI fits nice in there, nice and snug, it's well padded. This is actually a real steel bag, and I did get this from, check it out, UZI Parts, UZI headquarters, or UZIparts.net, I think. Yeah, it was in the States anyway, and it's quite a nice bag, good for to protect the gun. This little bit here, I'm not sure what this is for, but I do put the suppressor inside when I'm transporting it. Quite a nice handy bag, and I usually throw this inside my bigger bag, and it protects the replica. So that's just another accessory I have for it. I just thought I'd show you while I'm on the camera. The overview of this gun then, when I do bring it to field, it does get a lot of attention because not many people have seen a full-size airsoft replica UZI. I think Tokyo Marui and Maruzen are the only companies that made full-size UZI replicas. I know there's the KWC Mini UZI, the CO2 Mini UZI, but I think there's only 2 companies that actually made a full-size UZI, which is a shame because it's such an iconic rare gun. Everybody knows it, even people who don't know much about guns usually know what an UZI looks like. Yes, when I bring it to fields, it's a head turner. People are always asking me to have a look, asking me to shoot it, asking me where I got it, and as I said, couldn't tell you where to get one now. The only time or place or only way you're going to get one is second hand. I haven't upgraded this at all. This is all standard because I don't want to, chance anything breaking inside and then, I won't be able to use it. I have skirmished this in a few games, not as much as I'd like to. It's not my main primary weapon, but I just bring it up for fun, as I said, to show people as well, because people are usually interested in it. It's Tokyo Marui, so you're going to get good build quality with the gun. They do a fantastic job on their replicas, even though everybody complains they're not the most powerful replicas, but they're accurate, well built. You don't even have to upgrade them, out of the box. They shoot fine, and this is no exception. Luckily this one is still going. I know these replicas are prone to have issues, but this one is still going. That's why I'm keeping it standard, not touching the gearbox. The only maintenance I do is clean the barrel really, and just going to try to keep it going for as long as I can. As I said, it's a versatile gun. You can use it in woodland, great for CQB with these Hicap mags, but in woodland using the midcaps, nice and light, easy to get through brush, accurate as well with the Tokyo Marui hopper. So there's not much more I can say about that, apart from that it's an iconic replica. One of my favourites in my collection, even though it's not my primary replica. It is still a nice gun, a fun gun as well to use. Getting kills with this is fun because it's such an old gun as well. So I'm not sure when these actually hit the shelves, but getting a kill with this is it's like a fossil, and it's just fun to get kills with. But still going, still chugging away. Tokyo Marui, good quality gearbox inside, even though this is known for being one of the most poorly constructed gearboxes. It's still going on. I'm amazed. So if you see any of these out in the wild, you barely ever see any of these on the field. This is the only one I've ever seen in real life, and I own it. So never seen any one of these on the field ever before. So that's why people are so interested in it when they bring it to the field, especially when it has a suppressor on, because it does look quite mean in medicine. If you liked that review of this classic Airsoft AEG, comment below, because I really love to hear your opinions on this replica. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.